Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in the spotlight in the 1940s? A time when movies were magical and stars had secrets behind their perfect smiles? One name that sparks curiosity is Joan Fontaine. She was not just an actress. She was someone who left nothing hidden, making the world gasp at her choices and life. Yes, Joan Fontaine's life was full of surprises, drama, and moments that people could not stop talking about. We're going to uncover the story behind the star, who seemed to reveal everything but still kept a spark of mystery. Joan Fontaine was born in 1917 in Tokyo, Japan. Her real name was Joan de Beauvoir de Havilland. That is quite a mouthful, but she made her mark with her own name, stepping into Hollywood with a charm that was both soft and magnetic. She had an older sister, Olivia de Havilland, who was also a famous actress. Their relationship was complicated, filled with jealousy, competition, and tension that no one could ignore. People could not stop comparing the sisters, and Joan somehow stood out, creating a space where she shone on her own. Fontaine's acting career took off with movies such as Rebecca and Suspicion. She was not just beautiful. She had a way of expressing fear, sadness, and suspense that felt real to everyone watching. Suspicion even won her an Academy Award for Best Actress. Can you imagine feeling such fear on screen that it earns the highest honor in Hollywood? But Joan was more than her acting. She made bold choices that shocked the public. For instance, she often chose roles that other women of her time might have avoided. She did not hide her feelings. She did not fake happiness. People could not help but notice when she did something daring or unusual, and she loved being true to herself even if it caused whispers behind the scenes. Off the screen, her life was just as fascinating. She had multiple marriages, each one bringing stories that people talked about for years. Some relationships were short-lived, some long, but all were full of intense emotions. Joan seemed to live life fully, not holding back. And then there was her style. She had a way of dressing that made her unforgettable. She did not follow every trend. She created her own. Her look was not just about clothes. It was about confidence, something you could feel even in a simple photograph. Fans admired her because she made being herself look powerful and exciting. But here is where it gets even more interesting. Joan was known for being honest about her life and feelings in interviews. She never pretended to be someone she was not. If she had a strong opinion, she said it. If she was hurt or upset, she did not hide it. Many stars were careful to keep their personal lives secret, but Joan let people see her completely. That was rare, and that is why she stood out. Her honesty sometimes made headlines. She once openly talked about her struggles with family, her complicated feelings toward her sister, and even her fears. Imagine being brave enough to show your vulnerabilities when the world is always watching. People admired her courage and sometimes whispered about her boldness. Even in her films, Joan had a way of leaving viewers on edge. She could make you gasp without doing anything extreme. A look, a pause, a tiny gesture, and suddenly your heart is racing. That is why her performances are still remembered decades later. She did not rely on explosions, loud drama, or over-the-top stunts. She used the power of subtlety, emotion, and timing. Fontaine's career spanned decades. She acted in movies, television shows, and even on stage. Each role showed a different side of her personality. Some roles were sweet and charming, others dark and suspenseful. People never knew exactly what to expect, and maybe that is what made her so fascinating. As she grew older, Joan did not fade into the background like some stars. She remained strong, outspoken, and confident. She gave interviews, attended events, and shared her stories with honesty and humor. Even in her later years, she captured attention, proving that she was never just a star from the past. She was someone who continued to shine in her own way. Her life reminds us of something important. It is okay to be yourself, even if that makes others curious or surprised. Joan Fontaine showed that you can live fully, speak your mind, and embrace both your triumphs and your fears. Joan Fontaine's story is not just about movies or fame. It is about a woman who left nothing to the imagination, who shared herself fully with the world, and who made people gasp not because of noise or spectacle, but because of honesty, courage, and talent. She was more than an actress. She was a symbol of living authentically, even when life is complicated. And that is why, decades later, we still remember her, still talk about her, and still feel a little awed by the life she led. So, next time you watch an old Hollywood film, pause and look closely. Sometimes the quietest moments on screen carry the loudest stories. And with Joan Fontaine, every glance, every pause, and every word had a story worth noticing.